good there, signing autographs. Yukon, look at that. Yukon Cholack. Yukon the Moose. Hey, this guy's really tough. And Dusty Rhodes, let me tell you, Dusty Rhodes. He's a young man here at 1973. Got a lot of good credentials, though. Whoa, he just took a shot there. A lot of good credentials because Dusty Rhodes had those great battles with Dick the Bruiser. This is June the 9th, fans. June the 9th at the International Amphitheater. And you're going to watch a real classic from the standpoint of, we know what happened to Dusty Rhodes. He went on to fame and fortune. And our good friend Yukon Moose Cholack was maybe just a little bit ahead of his prime at this time, but look at that. Look at Moose. He looks rough and tough. Got a Band-Aid on there. Probably got in a barroom fight the night before. But look at that Cholack. Look at the size of him. Let me tell you. Now, Cholack sat with us here on the Hall of Fame Classics. Some of those great interviews preceding the matches. And you heard Cholack running down some of the experiences he's had in the business. Some of the tough matches he's had. How he feels about the game. And I think you got the same impression that I have gotten over the years, knowing Moose Cholack, that he is a man that asks no quarter and gives no quarter in pro wrestling. He likes to prove his point. He likes to come on strong and show a wrestler he's in against that he means business, and then this ain't no easy match he's in. Now, Dusty Rhodes, of course, Dusty Rhodes is a big man here. Dusty Rhodes is 6'1". He's around 275, so he's no small guy. He's a big man, and we already saw that he could take and dish it out against Bruiser and the Crusher when they had their big tag battles. Bruiser, Crusher against Murdoch and Rhodes. You remember those big tag battles they had March the 9th and March the 24th, right? Well, here we are, fans. We're in the middle of summer here in Chicago. It's June the 9th. The amphitheater is brimming with fans. Everybody's excited because a lot of action this night. By the way, the main event on this night was Bruiser and Wahoo McDaniel against Bockwinkel and Stevens for the AWA Tag Team Championship. Now, fans, you've been right along with us as we built for that big match. I mean, we showed you those highlights of the matches that led up to this confrontation, and I know you're really excited about it because we're going to bring that to you right after we're through with this great match between Cholack and Rhodes. So that's on tap tonight on this great show. But for now, we're here with Rhodes and Moose Cholack. Look at, I see Dusty Rhodes trying to take Moose over. You can't bring Moose over. I mean, he's trying to give him a hip toss there. Why, that's almost an incredible feat. I mean, not easy to do at all, especially with a man Moose's size. And Moose also, Moose is the type of guy that, you know, you'll have to strain your gut. I mean, you're going to develop 16 hernias if you try to get him over because Moose Cholack, man, I want to tell you, he ain't going over unless you jerk him his head off. He's tough and rough. Now look at here. Moose is coming in with that bear hug. Look at how he handles that guy. 265 pounds, Dusty Rhodes. Moose Cholack, almost 400 pounds. If you're listening, Moose, let me say 375. How's that, Moose? Moose Cholack. At this time in his career, I'd say probably he was around 375, 380. Moose Cholack really knows how to get the action going. Now, you see, this was a type of wrestling match that two big men have when they're really out to prove strength, stamina, endurance. Remember what Bastien had to say? Well, here we're going to get a good example of that. Now, Moose is down in the middle of the ring, and the referee has just raised Dusty Rhodes' hand. And I do believe our friend Cholack has lost that fall. Now, apparently the referee is just talking to him about something, warning him. Dusty Rhodes now coming in. Fans, we're going to continue this match in just a bit. Match Yukon Cholack against Dusty Rhodes. Fans, we checked the tape on that part where Cholack went down to make sure that it wasn't a pin, and it was not a pin. What had happened was that Dusty had given an elbow smash to Cholack and then come in and given him another elbow smash, and the referee had decided to check the elbow pad that Dusty Rhodes was wearing to be sure that he didn't have it padded with an object, a metal object of some kind, or some hard material that is not allowed in professional wrestling. They must be just pads to protect the elbow and nothing with an object in. So anyway, we straightened that out. This is a one-fall match. I just wanted to be sure, fans, that nothing escapes our rerun here. We don't want to give any false information. We got to follow this action closely because this is the Classics from Chicago, and we're with Yukon Moose Cholack against Dusty Rhodes. And Cholack is looking tough. Anyway, fans, as I was saying before, this is very reminiscent of the great matches they had in the early years, in the 20s and in the 30s, where they'd grab a hold and they'd hold that hold and stay with it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Sometimes a match would continue with one hold, maybe 35, 40 minutes. And these matches used to run 2 and 3 hours. This is very reminiscent of that type of match. Yukon Moose Cholack, big tough guy, and he's really putting the pressure on Rhodes. There isn't a lot of fast moves in this match, even though Rhodes is known to be a very fast, quick wrestler. In his tag matches with Dirty Dick Murdoch, of course, as his partner, you've watched some fast tagging, some quick action, because Rhodes is a very adept wrestler. Now you see Rhodes took another punishing blow, and again Cholack is trying to put the squash on him, and that would have been really tough. He was a wide open target there, fans. I thought for a minute he was going to get it. Now, our good friend Dusty Rhodes has decided to reverse the situation and try to put a squash on Moose. Let me tell you, though, Moose is very cagey, very swift. Things like that, I mean, you know, they don't ruffle this big man. He's tough. He's a real competitor. Here you see now well, you got to watch them ropes, Big Moose. And a double collision here in the middle of the ring, like two freight trains colliding in the night. That was a favorite saying of Sam Menaker, one of the great announcers of all time for professional wrestling. There's the count, 1, 2, and he didn't make the count because one of the shoulders came up. You watched that. Rhodes rolled over, so Finfer did not get the 3 count. That's the referee, Bill Finfer, a good friend of ours, one of the great referees. And there's a hard-charging, hard-pounding Dusty Rhodes working over Yukon Cholack. Now, fans, let me tell you, Cholack was the veteran, really, in every sense of the word. And the young upstart, now there is a punch. The young upstart coming in from Texas, Dusty Rhodes, trying to make a name for himself. I'll bet you Dusty remembers every one of these blows, every one of these punishing moves, because Cholack was really dishing it out this night. Look at that. That's the immovable object there. Oh, and now he's got the bear hug on him, and this is tough. Dusty Rhodes not signaling that it's over. Dusty Rhodes can take a lot of punishment. And fans, if you're staying current with Dusty Rhodes' career, you can affirm that he does indeed take punishment. But somehow, this great athlete manages to come out on top. And he truly is one of the greats. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. Look at that fast move out of the corner. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, at the International Amphitheater. And Dusty, if you're looking in, the date is June the 9th, 1973. That's right. And if you want to know what happened June 9th, 1973, well, I'll tell you something. Dave Condon, in his Wake of the News column, Dateline New York, June 8th, picked Secretariat to romp in the 105th Belmont Stakes to become the first thoroughbred in 25 years to win the Triple Crown. And guess what? Dave Condon guessed right. Secretariat won the Belmont Stakes and was the Triple Crown winner. The first thoroughbred in 25 years. That, of course, is of interest to Dusty Rhodes, I'm sure, because Dusty Rhodes likes the horses. That was happening, Dusty, June 9th, Saturday, 1973. And fans, this match is going to a draw here in Chicago on June the 9th. It's the Wrestling Classics from Chicago.